go ahead and hit this song. But we're Quadcast Live right now on Vleeties, the special 4 p.m. Eastern edition. And I'm going to hit play right here.
Bricks don't hit back.
They don't. I'm telling you.
My body's ready, my heart's on fire. I'm gonna push it over the wire. Perfect timing, tight as a drum. You find the battles already won. I'm taking hold of every moment, given strength by the breath of life. I'm gonna stake my claim. I fight to survive. I've worked hard every night and day, so I'm prepared to make my way. Mind and body are a perfect team. Now's my chance to live my dream. I'm taking hold of every moment, given strength by the breath of life. I'm gonna stake my claim. I fight to survive.
It's a new time zone. Everyone's going to watch the replay anyway on twitch.tv/realvleeties. My name is Ryan Van Vliet. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone who is. If you've downloaded the audio on demand version on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or the Podcast One app or Himalaya. I've never heard of that, but Sonic Gino said Himalaya exists and I'm part of it. I like to assume I'm a big deal on Himalaya, but I just don't know. Thank you so much if you are able to join me early. We're live. Today is, what is it, Tuesday? Let's date it right at the beginning. Tuesday, October 27th. We're here early because there is several reasons we're here early. Number one, World Series Game 6. That's probably the main reason. Number two, all kinds of people are coming over tonight. And number three, I just couldn't wait. I think that's the main thing of it, is that I just couldn't wait. I've been watching. Now, Zach, full disclosure, I mean, I went on a wrestling binge since Hell in a Cell. Like, I've been watching, I did watch the World Series, so I didn't watch Hell in a Cell when it happened. But good golly, I watched this whole thing. I finished it today. Now, that's the other problem, is that I waited too long to finish it. And then I watched the entire 3-hour Raw in like 2 hours. I was like skimming it. Now, you have not watched Hell in a Cell or Raw, correct? You're still a little behind?
Or SmackDown. So I got a binge.
Well, and full disclosure, when there is a pay-per-view on a Sunday and you miss the Friday SmackDown, normally you're fine. Normally that go-home SmackDown, like they know, they understand. I remember back when SmackDown was a Thursday program. It was always a Thursday show. When it was on UPN in the mid 2000s, it was a Thursday show. And I remember I have divorced parents for everyone listening, and I used to have to pack my bag to get ready to go back to the opposing parents' household. So I would watch SmackDown as I packed my bag to get ready to go. So that would always be my Thursday routine. And when it was on Thursdays, you had Thursday, you had Friday, and you had Saturday to watch it before the pay-per-view. But when they put it on a Friday, you only have Friday, Saturday, and then a little Sunday. And most of the time, I don't get to watch SmackDown until Sunday or Monday anyway. So I need that extra buffer day. So they took that away from you. But I will admit, now for everyone here who's here for the wrestling, there's a lot of it right now. because I loved this pay-per-view. Now, I even wrote it into bullet points. I should have made a PowerPoint presentation like Drew Gulak. That should be my thing all the time. But Zach, we did it. We exist in a world where Let's do it! Maddie Spice, thank you so much for the subscription, my friend. I appreciate it. There is, and now Maddie Spice, I know that we interrupted your gym time. The real question from Joe Kerr 88, he's asking if I watched Bound for Glory. The answer is hell no. I didn't watch TNA's Bound for Glory or Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory. Maybe we will do that. I just don't think that I don't know if I could ever bring myself around to it. I saw that Ken Shamrock, Joe Kerr in the chat. Yeah, nobody did. Yeah, there's just nothing about Bound for Glory. Like the fact that the main event was Rich Swann and Eric Young, like two guys that once again were outcast from WWE. They were cast aside, thrown away by WWE. I didn't like it. I didn't like it one bit. So let's go through these bullet points. For a long time. We got to do 4. OG JFC. That's my old screen name, Zach. Isn't that weird how they always find me like all of these old
every
screen
time
names? I don't know how someone else had that screen name. But I'm not even going to start from the first match to the last match because the last match, Randy Orton won the fucking championship, Zach. 2020 WWE exists, and Randy Orton won a belt in it. It makes me wonder why he didn't get the belt from Kofi Kingston last year. It makes me wonder why he didn't get the belt from, like, if you can go any year, why did Randy Orton not get the belt? Like, why is he always chasing it? Like, I thought he was in that part of his career, the twilight, if you will, where he's just putting over young guys. But Randy Orton did it, and I couldn't have been more excited. Now, you asked me, was it at least a good match? The answer is yes. It was. There was a lot of moments where I thought it was going to end. Drew McIntyre did the backslide again, and I was like, no. And like it was a weird match because at first I wasn't really into it. Here's one of the main reasons I wasn't into it. Why is Randy Orton's new gimmick to dress up as another character and then like, so you didn't get to watch this, Zach, but you saw when he was a janitor, right? And he used the night vision goggles.
So good. So good.
So he wants to get the jump on Drew McIntyre. So he poses as a cameraman, which is one of my favorite gimmicks in wrestling history. He's posing as like a cameraman, and Drew walks by him, and then he like takes his mask off because he's wearing, of course, the COVID mask, but he's still wearing like a hoodie and sweats, and he goes to attack Drew, but Drew catches him. Drew like knew it was him, like immediately, like, I saw you, Randy. I knew it was you as the cameraman. It was so awkward. Like, why would Randy even try to? Because even Samoa Joe's trying to tell me, Randy Orton's got a strategy here. He's trying to get the jump on him. It's like, no, Randy Orton's getting his ass kicked. What a terrible decision. But there was a few moments in there where I thought, holy shit, Drew McIntyre took the new Hell in a Cell bump. Like, you remember Mick Foley flying off the top, right?
Oh, of course.
You saw that, right? So
I saw that live.
The new thing they do is they get on the side of the cage, kind of like the Shawn Michaels in the first Hell in a Cell, where they're on the side and then they just fall off. So they are still like 8 feet up in the air, and it's still impressive. But Drew McIntyre took that bump. He fell off the side through the table. He was doing the Randy Orton breath like at WrestleMania when he was fighting Edge. He was doing the that's my favorite wrestler breath now, is when you take
the fake wind knocked out of you?
When you take a big move.
Sorry. Oh, I said the F word.
Oh, yeah.
No
F-bombs. I might have said it too.
And
greatness! Maddie Spice in the chat laying it down early. He's throwing 30 bits down. He's saying the cell bump is overdone, like the ring breaking. I agree with that. I think if you went off the tippy top of the cell, it's still exciting and impressive, but that side bump, we know it's coming. Like, I almost was expecting a Russian leg sweep off the side. Like, I was expecting just a move like that, and then they both could have went. That's my favorite. But so Drew took that bump, and then when they got back in the ring finally, he hit a Claymore, and I was like, well, that's the fucking end. But then Randy still won. I was like, oh, shit. I didn't believe Randy Orton was going to win this match until, like I told you before we began, I opened Instagram, and I don't even follow Randy Orton on my @Vleeties Instagram, but on my @RealVleeties Instagram, where I posted that, hey, we're going to be live at 4 p.m. Eastern today. Of course, the very first fucking thing I see is Randy Orton with his belt, like, not even smiling, just, he looked like, That's what he looked. He looked like the wind was knocked out of him, and he was like 14 times. I was like, no fucking way. And in my head, when you see a spoiler, you try and rationalize it. Like, maybe that happens on Raw. Like maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's a Raw thing that happens. No, it was 100% a Hell in a Cell. He won the belt, and I couldn't believe it. It was astonishing. Happy to see Randy Orton back on the top of the mountain. Now that the Drew McIntyre reign is over, and Drew McIntyre has been the champion since you've been back watching wrestling with me, what are your thoughts on his run as WWE champion?
I from day one have wanted Randy to take it from him, so I'm excited. I'm still gonna watch it. Spoilers don't spoil it for me. I'll still enjoy watching the match. So I gotta check it out. Dude, the night vision scene was so good. That was so hilarious. He's been, I don't know. I mean, Randy's been around since I've been watching it back in the day. So I love him. I'm glad he took it from Drew. I do like Drew after watching some of the documentaries where, he was crowned when he was young and then he kind of just fell off. And came back. But I'd much rather see Randy on the top right now.
Drew has a great story, and it is a good story. He was in 3-man band. He was in a useless throwaway faction that was only there to lose matches to people. And then he left and started the Rising, or whatever their names were in Impact Wrestling. They were terrible, but it was like, hey, it's Eli Drake and Drew McIntyre. These are fun guys. And the guy who played Camacho, this is going to be great. And it ended up working well for Drew, and he was able to turn that into a big thing. So yeah, I will say when Drew won the belt, I kind of was excited. Like, yes, it's fresh. It's something new. We get a new baby face to kind of revel in. I just didn't like that he was vanilla baby face, where it was like, I'm here for the fans and I'm here for everyone who couldn't make it tonight, but puts their hard-earned money. Like, I get it. Like, you're a good guy. We understand. I was a bigger fan when he was just kicking people's heads off and not giving a shit about anything. That made him more endearing to me. It was like, no, he's just here to, I'll fight him. Like, that was his gimmick almost. His gimmick was just, I'll fight him. And I enjoyed that, Drew McIntyre. So I'm excited that Randy Orton has the belt back. Wait till you see Raw, because The Fiend is there. And Alexa Bliss makes a reference that only Randy Orton and The Fiend would know. And, and all of us fans, we all knew it too. But then Drew came out, and I was kind of like, Drew, I'm ready to move on to my Randy Orton Fiend feud. I don't really need any more Drew McIntyre with my Randy Orton. So the match of the night was not Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. Bayley and Sasha Banks tore the fucking house down. It was nuts. I know that we're not using F words anymore. This match was worthy of an F word. It was so good. Sasha was bouncing everywhere like she was Rey Mysterio. Bayley was talking to Michael Cole the whole time like Kevin Owens. It was so funny. I really enjoyed, Bayley's probably loving this, and then she would like yell at Michael, I am loving this, Michael. Like she was really like involved, and she plays a great heel, a great villain, and it was funny to watch. Sasha comes out in all white, an outstanding getup. Her husband is the wardrobe guy, so they collaborated on this and made a fantastic outfit. Bayley wore all black, which I thought was a good look for her. It was the typical Shawn Michaels Undertaker, black versus white, light versus dark. It was such a good, they just told such a good story. And the ending was outstanding. You need to see, you need to watch the whole thing. Sasha wins. She gets her belt. Everyone's excited, including myself. But ultimately, I mean, so now Sasha's a Grand Slam champion, much like Bayley. All 4 of the women's championships, NXT, Raw, SmackDown, and Tag Team. Phenomenal. Absolutely outstanding. And I can't wait to see what they do next. I know that, Bianca Belair's on SmackDown. So I feel like that's the next obvious, like Bianca Belair and Sasha. But they're both white meat baby faces. So what are we supposed to do with that? I think maybe Bayley and Bianca is kind of the next big feud to see who gets a championship match. But it was great. You need to watch that one as well. And you need to watch, the opener was weird. The first match of the night was Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. Like the most.
What?
Yeah. I don't know why it worked out that way.
So I'm just going to assume Jey didn't win. Otherwise, that would have probably been a headline.
That was so weird. It was so odd because they were like, our first.
If you were looking for a fella to fight him, I'll fight him.
Thank you, Matty Spice.
fight
The classic Drew McIntyre. We all know it. We all know Drew. I'll fight him. We all know it. So, yeah, it was weird that it happened first, because it's always weird when you do a big pay-per-view entrance, Hell in a Cell. They do that promo package to make you like, wow, this is like a movie. And then they lead you into another movie about the Jey Uso and Roman Reigns feud. Like,
Yeah.
it was like this weird, like, I remember I watched the intro package and I paused it, and I was like 12 minutes in, and there was no wrestlers in the ring yet. So it was like, wow.
Then you get the dun
Yeah, I like it. That was I think they actually went with Uso. They went with that one first, and he came out, and he actually looked good. He wore white as well. It must have been just a thing where it's like, okay, good guys and bad guys, damn it. We're going to have
that's Joker in the chat. Gotta love some white versus black.
Yeah, gotta love the white versus black. I mean, that was what they went for hard. We gotta, oh yeah, Geezy sucks at CSGO. He went negative when we played, So CSGO is hard, by the way. I was watching you guys play a little bit, or I was watching some footage of it, and I was like, I can't do this game with a keyboard and a mouse. And I even played Call of Duty Black Ops 4 on my PS4, and I was going negative constantly. I'm old for these shooters, man.
Yeah. It's too fast.
It's too
shit.
I need slow games like Gears of War, where the guys are all clunky and muscular and can barely move.
I love third-person shooters. I love them.
I like a nice first person, but maybe as I've gotten older, my what's that called? Fast twitch muscle, whatever that is.
I feel like they're so much more complicated than they used to be. And CS:GO isn't. It's still classic, but people have been playing Counter-Strike for 20 fucking years now. So
Right.
if you're just starting back up, you're not gonna. We were playing in competition, which people were like stupid, fucking good. But yeah, dude, like Black Ops and even playing the new Cold War, there's so many buttons. There's so much shit I got to do. It's not just point and click.
Well, and even from someone who hasn't played a ton of Black Ops 4, in my head, I played Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, and just the little nuance, the little changes. Like, I'm used to just hitting left bumper and chucking a grenade or chucking like a flashbang. You know, I'm like, I got unlimited flashbangs, just throwing them. Not in 4. You don't have that. Left bumper is now you inject yourself with like an EpiPen. Because, you know, in shooters, it's fun that you can just kind of bleed.
Yeah.
Like, and then I'll recover. Like figuratively, you're probably sitting there wrapping your wounds, but you just kind of get shot, you recover. And now you have to hit left bumper, stab yourself with an EpiPen, now you're back up. And then R1 is your grenade, but you have to wait for it to like load. You got to like score. It's like, oh, just give me my grenades every time I spawn. So that's how I play Call of Duty. So I didn't play Cold War. I assume it's great. I wasn't a huge fan of. Everyone goes, did you play Warzone? I did not like Warzone. It's just such a big map. I like big maps when I'm used to them and it makes sense. But when I'm playing a game that I don't know and you're dropping me into the biggest map in the game, like my favorite part about Black Ops 4 is I can just play Nuketown because it is a little map. And although I don't like it for like a long period of time, I just wish I could play Modern Warfare 2. Those were the maps that I knew. I want to play that game. I want to play Demolition on Modern Warfare 2. I want to play on Wasteland.
That was in my top 10 favorite games list that we never got to.
Yeah, I mean, we never will. I'm calling it now. It's gonna be exclusive content in a year from now. But yeah, I really did enjoy Modern Warfare 2, and even Modern Warfare 3 to an extent. But I just thought when you go from having Modern Warfare 2, the maps are what made that game. And I think that gets lost in Call of Duty now, where it's like, no. How many optics? How many camos? All this extra shit that I don't care about. That seems to be their focus. Where for me, that was kind of like, I didn't give a shit about that for the most part. Like, and I do like that they, instead of kill streak, they have score streak now, where like if you get assist and you get kills, that leads to your score streak. So like instead of getting 3 kills for a UAV, now it's like 500 points. I like that. I think that makes sense, but it's fucking, I don't know. If Cold War is like Modern Warfare, maybe I'll get it. But I am looking.
I think you would like it. The maps are pretty good.
All right, maybe we'll check out this Cold War. Switch video games where it's $60. It's like a real commitment. Yeah. It's a commitment And if I don't like it, it's like, man, well, there goes that money.
Yeah.
So
That's what I've been asking people. Like, dude, what is a good? I haven't played games in years other than the Switch. Like, what is a good game? Because I'm not gonna go buy $80 games to find a good one.
Well, I do enjoy. I have. So you don't have a console though. You're still steaming it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm either PC or Switch.
Well, you can do with a PC. You can do the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and you can get a lot of those games that are on it. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 is on there. There's some games on there that are worth checking out for $15 a month. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, I would throw that out there. But Otis lost his Money in the Bank contract, Zach. More spoilers for you. Holy shit. Otis and Miz fought. And this was one of those matches that was the most obvious. I saw how it was going to end, and I immediately got sick. I was like, oh, no. And I have been, and Joker in the chat, yeah, Nuketown isn't bad on Black Ops 4. It's really not. I like that they made it look more like, they made it look like Russia. They made it look like Chernobyl almost. Like they changed the signage and the way it all looks. But this match, this Otis versus Miz match, obviously Otis is still hanging out with Tucky, even though Tucky's on Raw. Miz and Morrison are also on Raw, but Otis has to have this match. And John Morrison gets booted. He gets involved, so the referee's like, "You get out of here!
Yeah,
Get out of here!" And what? You can't do that! You can't do that to me! So he runs. He gets kicked out, and then while that's going on, I just saw Tucky standing closest to the screen, and I go, "Oh no!" And he was holding the briefcase, and the briefcase was on the apron, and I go, "Tucky's gonna turn on Otis," and sure enough, Otis comes, stumbling towards Tucky. He gets. It looks like he's set up for a 619, and then Tucky hits him with the briefcase. Miz rolls him up for the win, and it was just so obvious. Like, we needed another tag team to turn on each other. Like, that's like the favorite storyline of the WWE. Enzo and Cass. No matter what we do, we need to make sure tag teams break up. And Heavy Machinery never even won. They didn't even get tag belts ever. They were never like. They were a tag team, and maybe that's why it makes sense for Tucker to turn on him, because that was his explanation. He interrupted the interview with Miz and Morrison after the match, where he's like, "Everyone just cares about Otis. Nobody cares about old Tucky." And I like that he was calling himself Tucky. Like,
Tucky.
Well, his name when he came up from NXT was Tucker Knight, and I was like, Tucker Knight's a great wrestler name. And then because the other guy was Otis Dozovich, they were like, "No, we're gonna just do Tucker and Otis." And Otis works as a great one-name wrestler, but Tucker, I was never like, come on, you got to throw something on there. Make him John Tucker or whatever. John
That should have been
Tucker.
the original T-Bar.
Yeah, he could have been T-Bar. Yeah, Tucky, T-Bar. That makes sense for Heavy Machinery. And so Otis loses that. Tucker cuts the promo, and then they fight backstage. Now the rumors swirling around Wrestling Inc. are Tucky is heading back to SmackDown to finish this rivalry, because he's officially a Raw superstar thanks to the Miz somehow. I don't know how they keep blaming the Miz for that stuff, but thought it was great. Miz came out on Raw. He made sure that Drew McIntyre knew who the new Mr. Money in the Bank was. So it's cool to see Miz back in that spot. But other news for you from Hell in a Cell, you missed it, my friend. Jeff Hardy got DQ'd to not get pinned by Elias, but at least he still lost to Elias. Like, Elias got a win. But so I'm like, okay, good. They're protecting Jeff Hardy because he just lost to Lars. He lost to Sammy. He's kind of been losing a lot. He can't get pinned by Elias. But then we get to Raw, and he gets pinned by AJ Styles. I was like, wait, are we protecting him or no? Why did we go from we must protect, like, we have to protect Jeff Hardy, and then he just loses? And then I didn't see the interference from the big man. Tom Phillips is saying that there was some interference. I didn't see it. But then after that match, Elias came out, smashed the guitar over Jeff Hardy. So they're still wrestling. They're going to be in a Hell in a Cell match at Survivor Series. Can't wait to see it. That's not real news, but that should be. This rivalry is getting heated. They fought not inside the Hell in a Cell, but they might as well have at Hell in a Cell. Why not? And what's your stance on Retribution before I even tell you what happened at Hell in a Cell?
I loved the Retribution and Fiend on Raw last week.
Right.
That was great. Loved it. I love the Hurt Business just kicking the shit out of them too.
Yeah.
I'm loving that. But at Retribution on its own, not liking it.
Well, and I love that
I cannot get over fucking Slapjack. Why? How? Who came up with that? They should be fucking fired.
Well, and I love
Slapjack
that you say
and T-Bar.
I love that you say I love that they're getting the shit kicked out of him by the Hurt Business. Because that's exactly what happened at Hell in a Cell. And Slapjack is the worst. Like, I don't know how. So they did a great little bit backstage at Hell in a Cell where they show Bobby Lashley dressed to fight. And, you know, they say, who from the Hurt Business are you guys going to fight? And Lashley just says, I don't even care. So then Shelton Benjamin, he says, we'll fight the one in the weird mask. And then, and it's like, yeah, because it's like they have such a stupid gimmick. And then, I think it was Cedric that goes, well, Slapjack? We'll do Slapjack. And Retribution started out as Antifa.
If you were looking for a fella to fight him,
I'll fight him. That's what I wish would have been part of Retribution. Thank you, Imagine Tweak. And this was the worst like entrance ever because Bobby Lashley comes out looking like $1 million. He's the Almighty. He's huge. U.S. champion, looks great. And then this little fucking idiot comes out. And Retribution went from being Antifa to the crazy painted white guys from Mad Max, you know, like Fury Road. Like that's what they've turned into. They turned into like doing a lot of this, and for podcasters, I'm grabbing my head and I'm moving like I'm crazy. I'm like the Flyleaf music video. I'm like, I can feel you all around me, like just doing weird ass head movements and head dances. And their gimmick used to be like, no, we're protesters. We're against the system that held us down. And it makes like Mustafa, like, so I even wrote in my notes here. So let me just say, I don't get the fake crazy part of Retribution. I thought they were supposed to be deliberate, well thought out, well planned. We have an agenda. We're not looking for revenge. Revenge is for the weak. We want retribution. Great catchphrase, great line. However, we're going to go with stupid mask and dumb names. Like when I see Mia Yim out in the, and like she looks great in her like spaghetti straps and like her joggers, looks outstanding. And she's wearing a dumb mask and calling herself Reckoning. I'm like,
and it always is not in the right place.
She's constantly trying to fix it. Yeah, she's gonna give herself COVID at this rate. And Broken Freaking Neck and Trash Gamer, it's early because if you're in the Discord, which I assume everyone is, Vleeties is early, everybody, because there's some things happening tonight. I didn't want to not have the show. I wanted to just do it early. Make sure you're part of that Discord, y'all. World Series is on. I have people coming over. I need to help my wife with some stuff. So instead of not doing the show, we're just going to do it now. And it's fun now because now we get to talk about wrestling immediately. And Maddie Spice is right. Dinner party. # dinner party. # dinner party.
Come on down to Chinatown.
Chinatown, my friends. Red pill in a little bit here. But yeah, Mia Yim, she looks great. But why she's doing the mask thing. It's like, just call her Mia Yim. Take the mask off. Let her come out and do whatever all the hand signals she was doing I'm from Fontana, so I do hand signals. I liked that gimmick. Why are we doing this Retribution? I think Retribution sucks. And yeah, you're right. The only purpose they have is to lose to the Hurt Business. We have Mustafa Ali, and he's cutting awesome promos. Like, if you look at because I used to call him Mustafa, but he calls himself Mustafa. So now I feel like I've been racist this whole time. So Mustafa Ali cuts these promos with Mason T-Bar behind him, and I was looking at it and I go, that is it. That is the stable. You put this crazy intellectual in the very front, and he's got these two idiots wearing masks and crazy hair behind him. I think it makes total sense. It looks great. I thought that made sense. But to have Mace, and even their names, Mace and T-Bar, is obviously insanely ridiculous, but it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh, and I'm okay with it now. But Slapjack might be the worst one. What's the worst name?
Slapjack by fucking Slapjack. Come on, Mace is okay. It's just more of like I can't take it seriously.
Right.
T-Bar, I don't know what that means. Because you said it has nothing to do with his name. It's not like he's Tony Barnett or something.
Tony Barbaloni.
Yeah. But fucking Slapjack, man. Jeez.
And his real name
Who's
is
ever gonna take that serious?
and his name is like Shane Thorne too. Like he already has a wrestling name. Like just call him Thorne. You don't need to give him a stupid And that's what we were trying to figure out with T-Bar. We were like, his name's Dominic Dajakovic. Why are we just switching it to T-Bar? And I don't know what the creative meeting is like when you're all there saying, okay, Slapjack, Mason, T-Bar. Hey, we have Mia Yim as well. Reckoning. And then Mercedes Martinez was part of it. I don't know what happened to her. Once Main Event Mustafa came out, they finally they shortened it up. This group used to have like 100 people in it. Now it's only got 5. Like they're so clearly, like when the Shield came in, they were already up here. Like they were already tippy top. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose, and already tippy top. Retribution's coming in and getting jobbed out to the Hurt Business. So, I mean, if we're on like a 5, like if we're on like a 5-point scale, they're 1-pointers right now. They're jobbers in my book. I like Mustafa Ali, and I think he should be used in a different way. But I would love it more if he was like a solo act and he had like 2 bodyguards like AJ, except his bodyguards are called Mace and T-Bar. Those are great names. Good God. And then I made this note at the beginning of Raw, but apparently I was insanely wrong. Drew McIntyre lost the WWE Championship, and then it looked like he was moving away from Randy Orton altogether. It looked like Randy Orton was going to be moving onto a program with The Fiend, and it looked like Drew McIntyre was going to move into a program with Miz and Morrison. Which in my head I was like, oh, maybe McIntyre leaves Orton, but he wins the Money in the Bank from the Miz, and that's how he gets his championship back. Like I was kind of going through like the scenarios of how they were gonna rewrite history. So Dr. Dankness on YouTube, he says, yo. So yo. So I really looked at that moment as like, cool, this is going to be great. Oh, and Dr. Dankness, if you're wondering, TWFS is going to be live tomorrow, twitch.tv/TWFS. We're going to go live immediately following AEW Dynamite, or if you're Ryan Van Vliet, right after NXT presents Halloween Havoc. I really enjoyed, dude, this promo for Halloween Havoc looked awesome. It's got Shotzi Blackheart, who I don't like, but it had Finn Balor with like blood in his mouth. It had Johnny Gargano, who I like.
Now is this the NXT? Is this where I start watching NXT?
This is it. I'd say first one to watch is this one tomorrow night. Halloween Havoc, It's fun. There's pumpkins. Hopefully there's a pumpkin match. Pat McAfee's going to be there, the former punter from the Indianapolis Colts. Dr. Dankness says he can't wait. Maddie Spice says he's watching the Big Brother finale. I'm going to do the 2 television set. Big Brother on the left, NXT on the right. Unless there's a World Series Game 7, then it'll be World Series on the left, Big Brother on the right, NXT in my cell phone. There's no limit.
I was thinking you were gonna go DDP.
Oh, maybe. Maybe I was gonna give myself a self high five. Maybe that's what I was planning on doing. Is that where it came from? Because he used to talk about self high five. He'd hold a hand up and go like this, like that was his thing. And then eventually it became the diamond cutter. So we'll have to talk to him, because I remember watching like some 93 WCW stuff, and he was coming out going like, I was like, that's a shitty gimmick. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Maddie Spice says wrestling starts at, our Big Brother's at 9 Eastern. Oh, no. I was legit upset. It should be at 8 Eastern, 7, whatever. And I was so annoyed by last night's episode, Maddie Spice. I was sitting there watching it like, what the fuck is this? They showed who won stage 1 of Head of Household. They showed stage 1, and like that was it. They could have just showed us all 3 stages and did the voting on Wednesday. This is bullshit, Zach. If you only knew the stress that I put myself through. But I'm gonna watch Halloween Havoc. It looks awesome. They already got some big matches announced. They got Raquel Gonzalez and Rhea Ripley. So they got like the 2 yoked women fighting each other, which will be fun. Pat McAfee's going to talk about why he helped Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. That's going to be awesome. Dr. Dankness on YouTube says that he's going to be watching NXT on the TV and AEW on the phone. That's exciting.
Ooh. How many combinations can we come up with?
Dude,
What
there's
else is on that
for
night?
tomorrow for Wednesday. Oh, there's got to be CIS, NCIS, something's got to be on. So
Now I'm gonna spring this on you. This is kind of random, but it's back to WWE real quick.
do it.
I heard, what is this controversy around the buckle bomb happened?
Oh, did
Did
somebody
you see that?
I didn't see someone. Did someone do a buckle bomb? Because I know that Bailey did like a sunset flip power bomb into the chair. But which one? For a long time. B2 the Prophet. Welcome. I never had that as my nickname. So the buckle bomb is unbanned apparently from Trash Gamer. Why? Who did it? Did they specify who did it?
I don't. I'll try and find it.
So the
But
buckle bomb
I
was
heard that it
banned.
happened.
Yeah, so the buckle bomb was banned because Seth Rollins almost killed Sting. He picked up Sting for a buckle bomb, and he has him up, and he runs into the corner and throws him, and then you really just let him go, and then you kind of just let God and the wind and surface area and wind resistance try and you're gonna hit that turnbuckle, and you have to tuck your chin, right? As a wrestler, you tuck the chin. And you have to hold the chin down no matter what happens. So when you hit a turnbuckle and the turnbuckle hits you in the upper mid back, your neck suddenly goes like this. Whoa! And you have insane whiplash. And if you're Sting and you're 60, that's how you retire. So, and then Trash Gamer says
the one that I saw was Nia Jax did it, and she was fucking
yeah, that's
somebody
what
too.
that's what Trash Gamer's saying, that he did it to, or Nia did it to Kyrie, and that's when they ended it. That's probably what it was. But I think I remember Seth not doing it for a while because it was Seth's move. Seth would hit him with the buckle bomb. They would like, oh, I'm so sore, fall on their knees, and then curb stomp, and then he would pin him. But yeah, you're right. I do remember Nia did it. And then Seth did it twice to Sting in that one match. And yeah, the first time he did it, Sting says he like lost all feeling in his arm. And he was like, okay, weird. That's weird. But then he did it the second time and like Sting just collapsed. And if you've never seen that match, it's hard to watch. I think they did an Untold about it. So yeah, the Sting and Seth Rollins Untold from Night of Champions is gnarly because it really is like, oh my God. Like you really are doing like the yeah, you yeah. Everyone gets the wind knocked out of it. Matty Spice says Sting was too old to wrestle. I've been watching the Rock and Roll Express. They've been kicking ass in NWA, okay? They can still go, and they've never been to the gym. So yeah, you could still wrestle when you're 60 years old. So we're also getting ready for Survivor Series, Zach, and this drove me nuts. Survivor Series is once again brand versus brand. Why? We just switched all of the rosters. We just switched Raw. Like, guys who are on SmackDown are now on Raw. So why are you, like, doing a bragging rights style pay-per-view where it's like, we did it. We won for Raw. Is anyone loyal to their brand? There's no reason to be loyal if you're going to switch every year. So I just like how they were like, we're going to do Team Raw. And Team Raw's already got AJ Styles, who was just on SmackDown. It's got Keith Lee, who was on NXT last year. And it's got Sheamus, who was just on SmackDown. So the entire team is full of guys that weren't on the Raw brand a month ago or 2 months ago. So I just don't. Yeah, I'm on Raw for a month. Fuck SmackDown, damn it. Like, it really is weird the way they have it all set up. Like, why would they still do brand versus brand? Did you see?
And if Raw doesn't win every single match, then it's rigged.
Well, but then they did that one year where. So I think NXT technically won last year. They won like 4-3-2. Like, Raw only won 2 matches, and it was like, what the hell? But then there was one year where SmackDown didn't win a match. They won a match on the kickoff show, and then Raw won all the matches. So the whole night they were like, Raw sweeps SmackDown. Like, but all the real fans were like, no, SmackDown won the pre-show. So it's like, if you're gonna run with that storyline of all Raw winning,
Fake news.
if you're gonna run the storyline of Raw winning all the matches, why don't we just have Raw win all the matches? Like, why would it have hurt the 5 teams on SmackDown to lose to 5 teams on Raw that were led by Chad Gable and Bobby Roode? I don't think so. Yeah, so I don't know why we're doing brand versus brand, especially when the theme of the show is The Undertaker's 30th anniversary. I mean, what the hell are we doing? Restream says, you've received 100 messages today with Restream chat. Oh, so that means like through the quadcast. There's 100 messages posted so far. Good news. Good news.
Whoa.
Great ratings. King Benny says YouTube gang because it's not banned from there. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, and then Survivor Series gave us the lead pipe and the stupid kid. Yeah, that was when Raw lost. So that's when Seth Rollins became a real bad guy. Was when Rey Mysterio lost to Brock in a good match. I don't care what anyone says. I think that was last year's Survivor Series. But I don't know why they're doing brand versus brand is my only complaint. And so far for Raw, we got Sheamus, AJ Styles, and Keith Lee. They all qualified on Raw. Sheamus and Matt Riddle tore the fucking house down on Raw. And I have to say, maybe it is. Dr. Degness has my point in the chat. They should do the draft earlier in the year. It doesn't make sense to have a draft and then Survivor Series a month later. Like, nobody should be loyal to their brand at this point because they all just got there. If anything, they need to do what I used to do when I played with my wrestling toys. We used to do Survivor Series, right? You're going to love this, Zach. We had the Taco Bell Survivor Series elimination match. You know what that means?
Give it to me.
The winning team got Taco Bell. Like,
Shit.
Even something simple as that makes you go, well, shit, this team wants to win because they want free Taco Bell. I mean, and when I was a kid, that would have made me fight harder. I think that would have been great. And yeah, in the chat, B2 the Prophet says that Fleet Dog and Ralph would have won and we wouldn't have needed a lead pipe. That's true. We would have took everyone down. Everyone down to the lead pipe, damn it. We don't even need it. But I got to be honest, Zach, Sheamus, what are your thoughts on Sheamus real quick?
I'm torn on Sheamus. I'm pissed I missed Sheamus and Cesaro. Once I found out that was a thing, like, I need to go back and watch it.
You would like the bar. I think everybody,
yeah.
You would, because I enjoyed the bar. I know you would like the bar. There's no way that you would not like the bar. You have to see that.
I was just thinking when he fought somebody in New Day, just on Raw last week.
Yeah, last week I think. Well, he's been fighting with like Big E and Xavier Woods and everybody for years.
I just love that because Sheamus acts all serious and he's like, "You guys are a bunch of dumbasses." And in that match, he's walking up, and New Day is doing all their dumb shit, and Sheamus just like, "Will you just shut the fuck up and wrestle me already?"
You need to see. So going back to the bar, you need to see the beach ball. Have you seen the beach ball?
I've not seen the beach
ball. Oh my gosh, it's outstanding. So I think it's the Hardy Boys though. I think it's the Hardy Boys versus the bar. And I think it's in the Iron Man match. And they did a 30-minute Iron Man match as two tag teams. And it was so funny because in the crowd there's a beach ball. And Cesaro, the bar, they're serious. He hops the barricade, goes and grabs the beach ball, and everyone's like going nuts. Like, he's going to hit it. And he just rips it apart.
Yeah.
And he runs back. He just runs back to the ring, ripping the beach ball apart. Because even the announcers were like, where's Cesaro going? Grabs the beach ball, rips it in half. And then Edge and Christian.
You're distracting me.
Dude, they did a great bit on Edge and Christian show, which is on the network, which you should check out. But they were like, imagine, they were doing like if you were at your job and like, you're like serving donuts and some guy's yelling at you like, you fucked up. Like they were doing wrestling chants and stuff. And then there's one where like there's a doctor and like Cesaro's like bouncing a beach ball off his head because it was like a callback to the beach ball. It's great. The bar was outstanding. But I have to be honest. I think I'm becoming a bigger and bigger Sheamus fan. And it has to be because of the sounder, right? Like Sheamus has been almost like a floundering heel for a few years now. Like whenever he goes solo, there's kind of like we'll figure out what to do with him. But ever since we've been here every week and people have been having Sheamus yell in my ear, I kind of think I'm turning into a bigger Sheamus fan. You know what? Like, I know that it's...
Yeah, dude, him and Big E's match on the last one where they tore up the cars and Sheamus used the crowbar that when he threw it on the ground, it didn't make a noise. It's great.
If you were looking for a fella to fight him, I'll fight him.
Now that I hear that all the time, I'm like, Sheamus rules. Like, you want somebody to fight him? And this is Sheamus from... Yeah, this is 2011 Sheamus. Like, this is the best. I mean, we're talking 9 years ago. It's still awesome. Like,
if you were looking for a fella to fight him, I'll fight him.
That's all we need. We need more wrestlers like that. We need Drew McIntyre to just be that guy. We don't need him to come out and be in Mr. Vanilla Babyface. For you fans, I'll do whatever it takes. Like, I don't need that. I need you to be like, you want somebody to fight, Randy? I'll fight you. Like, that's what we need. We need guys who are just willing to fight. And I would like to point out, Miz is Mr. Money in the Bank, and Randy Orton is the WWE champion. The last time we had this was exactly 10 years ago. And Miz cashed in to beat Randy Orton in October, I think. So, like, it's funny how we want new things in wrestling, and we're looking for like a natural progression. And here we are, a decade removed. We are exactly where we were. There's not a lot different than 2010. Even Edge made a comeback, so who knows? I can't wait to see Edge come back and challenge Randy, and we're gonna get rated RKO. It's all circular, my friend.
So the Money in the Bank, because this is new to me, you can cash it in for any belt at any time.
So they say for any belt. When it first started, when it was won on Raw. So there's a whole evolution of this thing, but you can cash in on they say on any belt. So I guess allegedly or hypothetically, you can cash it in on the U.S. or the Intercontinental, like any of those lower belts. But it typically is for the World Heavyweight, or not, whatever it's called now, the WWE World Heavyweight Undisputed Championship or the Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship. So you can cash it in on either one of those. Because like when it first started, and I called this at the pay-per-view, Edge was Mr. Money in the Bank for almost a full year. And there was an Elimination Chamber match, and I said, you know what Edge should do is cash in after the Elimination Chamber when Cena's all beat up. And we were like, Scotty Williams was like, that'll never happen. And then the match ends, and Vince comes out and goes, this man's cashing in. That's not a good Vince impression. This man is cashing in his Money in the Bank contract. I'm Vince McMahon.
Do you have a dip in?
Yeah, got a lipper in on Vinnie Mac. Vinnie Mac gonna have a match. Edge and John Cena. So Edge runs out and wins the match, and that was kind of that was the first one. And that was where it was like, wow, you can cash this thing in anytime, anywhere, because it was never specified that you had to give the champion notice or anything. It was just, I'm Edge, I have this Money in the Bank contract, don't fuck with me. And then Matty Spice, Edge lost it a week later. He did lose it very, very quickly afterwards.
Well, that's what I didn't like about Otis. It's like Otis is not going to be the champ. Even if he does become the champion, he's going to be it for a week.
Well, and that's happened in history. So RVD won it in 2006, and he cashed it in. Like, he did like we're having an ECW pay-per-view. I'm going to headline it against Cena. Here's the contract. Make the match happen. Do your thing. So in 2007, they gave it to Mr. Kennedy. Do you know Mr. Kennedy?
No.
Oh, you would not like Mr. Kennedy. No, you might like him. Kennedy! So he used to do his own ring entrance, which was kind of fun. You know, he was like really obnoxious and do his own like, I hail from Green Bay, Wisconsin. And people would be booing him like, what is happening? Why are you doing this? And he would say, Mister. And everyone would be, boo, this guy's annoying. What the fuck's happening? And he would go, Kennedy. And it's like, oh my gosh, why did we just witness that? But then he would like look around at the crowd. Kennedy. Like he would do his own echo. It was really fucking annoying. And then when he went to TNA, he was Ken Anderson. So it was still Mr. Anderson. And it was like, oh, good gimmick. So, yeah, he was Mr. Money in the Bank because there was like, hey, fuck it. This guy's we'll turn him into a main eventer. And he even did like the thing like, I'm cashing this in a year at next year's WrestleMania. And like he was kind of the first to do that. And then they were kind of like, okay, this Ken Kennedy guy is probably not going to make it to next year's WrestleMania. Let's have Edge get the briefcase off of him, and Edge will cash it in against Undertaker like in a week. And they did that, and it worked out. So they got the belt off of that mistake. It worked out for everyone, and I think it went a lot better. B2 the Prophet. Milk Bag Vleeties. Vleeties. That might be the new thing. We're going to add the Mr. Anderson impression on here. And I think even King Benny in the chat says that he was the first person to actually be called Mr. Money in the Bank. because
Oh.
everyone else was just, he's holding the money in the bank contract, or he's got the money in the bank briefcase. And then Anderson was the first one to be like, Mr. Because that was his thing. His name's Ken Kennedy. But
Everybody had lippers back in the day, I guess.
Dude, he actually strikes me as a lipper guy. He's from Green Bay, Wisconsin. One of my old coworkers actually met him, and he says he was like super cool, super down to earth, not at all like Ken Kennedy. I was like, what? He didn't introduce himself when he walked into the room. So what we're gonna do, Zach, is we're gonna take a brief. We got Antifa is a myth. It's a myth being spread from Washington. Damn it. That's from Trash Gamer 97. He's saying it's a myth, but when we come back, I have a feeling we're gonna convince people that it's not a myth. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that break. And then when we come back, Zach, we're gonna get a little red pilled, right? I mean, we have to be red pilled, just a smidge. There's several reasons.
It's the week of the election, bro. I voted yesterday.
You voted, okay? You and Peter King, you both voted. So I have to hear how it went for you. And I like that you're changing the camera color.
I'm ready.
Maybe I'll join you. So we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. Sounds good. So. All right, there we go. Minute of commercial break for all my Twitchers out there. If you're watching on YouTube, there's no commercial for you. It's really just for Twitch. The party is on Twitch. Now my Facebook people, my Periscope people, my YouTube people, glad you're joining us. The party's on Twitch. Twitch.tv/RealVleeties is where the real fun begins. Let's see. Let's switch this graphic now because the red faction begins shortly. Can't believe you voted, man. I thought we agreed. We're not voting. We wanted to argue voter suppression after the election.
Yeah, I was tempted to vote for Kanye, but I couldn't do it.
Oh, you couldn't write in that name, huh? You saw the writing
I didn't
box.
have to write in the name.
Oh, it was
on my ballot.
He made it to the Utah ballot, huh? Good for him. He was not on my ballot at all. It was a really, really massive write-in spot. I was like, geez, they really want me to write in for this fucking Kanye West. I don't know why they just don't have him on the damn ballot. Welcome back to Vleeties, everybody who sat with us on Twitch with that commercial break. We are here. We are live. All of my YouTubers and all of my Facebook and all of my Periscopers, we're back. Here we are. People want to change their vote. Exactly. That was the first thing I had on my list, Maddie Spice. There's several things on my list. There's several places to go. We'll start there. So let me get us on the screen. We're not even on the screen, Zach. Nobody can see me. Welcome back to Vleeties, everybody. So, Zach, there was we launched early voting, I think on Columbus Day is when it officially began, or Indigenous Peoples Day, on October 13th. And I think that's when it all began. Maybe the day after, because I know the banks and maybe some of the libraries were closed, because even though everybody hates Christopher Columbus, we still will all take that day off. Don't worry. We're all taking that day off. Don't worry about me. However, this is from the Daily Wire's Amanda Prestigiacomo. Since the second and the final presidential debate, Google searches for "Can I change my vote?" and similar inquiries have spiked, according to Google Trends. A rather significant trend since more than 62 million votes have already been cast in the election via early voting, absentee ballots, mail-in ballots, and we're 7 days away from the election. So, we got some time here, or we're running out of time. The initial post-debate spike in Google searches was only matched Tuesday morning after Trump tweeted the American. So Trump said you can change your vote. He tweeted that out. And I even have the tweet here. Strongly trending Google since immediately after the second debate is, can I change my vote? This refers changing it to me.
Of course.
The answer in most states is yes, go do it. Most important election of your life. And he's not wrong. There was a huge spike after the debate, and I think a lot of it does stem from people kind of waking up to like, oh yeah, I'm voting for like laws and policies and not for like a guy. You know, like although the president is a person, you are going for what their cabinet's going to bring, what the administration's going to do, and I think a lot of people kind of woke up like, oh yeah, Joe Biden and Barack Obama built the cages. Why are we mad at Trump? Why are we supporting the party that doesn't know what a coyote is? Come on, Zach. You knew that term, right? When he says coyotes are bringing kids over the border, I was like, of course. Yeah, we've all watched Justified. We've all watched Breaking. Like, there's shows where people are trying to move north of the border, and you use a coyote to do it. You knew this term.
Oh, dude, I used to work with the guys in production. They're like, oh yeah, I came over in the trunk of a car.
Yes.
Like what? yeah. The coyotes brought me over.
Coyotes brought me over. They know how to get in and out of the country, underhandedly, secretively. They avoid whatever they have to do. I mean, there was a guy on like Dateline or something who showed like, right now I'm in America, and then he took like 100 steps, and he was like, now I'm in Mexico, and nobody says it, and he's like, and nobody knows like where I am exactly, and because I think he was in between like Texas and New Mexico somewhere. Kind of, I mean, we can only build so much wall. We haven't made it to Texas yet. So he was still able, like almost, a couple 100 miles outside of El Paso, just go, whatever, do your thing.
Yeah, Maddie Spice in the chat. Before Trump, half the border was ungated. I've seen those where it's like they had the wood that makes an X, and then there's just a pole down the middle, and that's your fence.
That's it. And
it's like, what is this?
And I've driven on the 10. I've driven on the 10 through El Paso, and you can see Mexico from the freeway. It's not like this far away place. I mean, it's right there. So immigration was a real issue. And like I had this talk with my and then King Benny, isn't who built the cages the same as saying guns kill people? I mean, I guess it's a bit different, but I think the sentiment is more or less the same. I can agree with that. Like, yeah, you guys built the cages, but I'm still using them is a way of like, yeah, hey, what I'm doing isn't any better than what you're doing. And yeah, King Benny, you're right on that. But I will say, guns kill people isn't like, if you leave a gun on a desk for 17 years, nothing will happen. So,
well, I think too, you got to remember, like when he brought up the cages, it was because Joe was attacking him on it. Like, why the fuck are you doing this? Like,
Vleeties is raiding with a party of
13.
What is going on, bro?
Thank you so much, Magic. And yeah, you're right. Like, Joe was saying we have 500 kids in a cage, and I think just him using that word cage was. And Trump's right. Like, look what. And I should have fucking brought this up. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed that they've reached out to 485 of those parents already. DHS, kids at the border, families. But so DHS has reached out to like 485 of the families, and they just haven't come back. They just haven't been able to they either haven't been to the border or they have no interest in going to the border.
Well, like if it was you, think of, you're trying to escape Mexico, and you got your kid across, and you're like, fuck it, like, I succeeded.
Sure.
Go. Yeah. The government's they're not gonna put the kid across the border and just say, you can't come. Bye. So I'm not gonna come pick them up. I was trying to get them there. Yeah. Whether it's with me or without me.
And this has been reported by Emily Zanotti on Daily Wire. She says that DHS says many of the children's parents have refused a reunion, leaving the child orphaned in DHS's care. So yeah, you're right. Like, kids are getting into America, and now it's like, no, you're in America. You're in the good part. We're leaving. We're done. The policy of separating adults seeking asylum from accompanying minor children at the border begun during the Obama administration after a judicial ruling barring the Obama administration from holding asylum-seeking families for more than 2 weeks. Because I remember, didn't Obama build like a La Quinta at the border or something? Like, his 10 was needed, not wanted. Thank you so much, broken freaking neck. Yeah, he had like Obama wanted to keep them there, and yeah, it does say. So Chase Jennings is a spokesperson for DHS. He says he's calling the report wholly inaccurate, like entirely inaccurate, not like holy like religion, like holistically inaccurate, and pointing to evidence that the plaintiff's own findings, noting that 545 children yet to be reunited with their parents. A shocking 485 children have been left in DHS custody because their parents or family members refused a reunion. So Jennings said, they've yet to identify a single family that wants their child back. So there you go. They found the families. The families are like, no, my kid's in America. They're like Coach Norm Dale from Hoosiers. When they're like, Coach, you need 5 men. And he says, my team's on the floor. And they only play with 4 men because they want to make a point. So, and that's exactly what's happening here, where Chase Jennings is coming out and saying that this narrative has been dispelled. It's in litigation. 485 children whose plaintiffs' counsels have been able to contact. They've yet to identify a single family that wants to reunite with their child because they don't want to bring their child back to Mexico. They want their child to stay in the United States. So boom, there's the real, and of course nobody knows that stat. I have the numbers here from DHS, ICE, Customs Border Patrol. I'm talking to the source over here. Talking to who wrote the article? I said her name at the beginning. Emily Zanotti. All right, I'm going to the facts. But that was a huge takeaway from the debate was like, oh my God, that was a huge takeaway. It was like, well, Trump's leaving all these kids in borders. But no, that didn't happen. They've contacted the families, and a lot of the families don't want the kids back. And a lot of people said that was the biggest slam that Biden got on Trump. But I'm even going through here. So yeah, there are in New York. You can change your vote according to the New York State Board of Election. The election law recognizes that plans change. The Board of Elections is required to check the poll book before canvassing any absentee ballot. If the voter comes to the poll site on election day or during early voting in person, the absentee ballot is set aside and not counted. So you can go in.
So that leaves it open for a huge flip.
Huge
the
flip.
Actual day.
You can go in and change your vote. You can do it in Florida. You can urge voters to bring ballots not sent in the mail with them to the polling place. Arizona residents can vote with provisional ballot on election day. Election officials urge voters to bring ballot not sent in the mail with them to the polling place. So you have the option to go in with either your ballot or proof that you did vote, and you can switch that vote up until election day. However, in Minnesota, you got to do it within 2 weeks. You got to do it before 2 weeks. So in Minnesota, which apparently I didn't know this. We're probably going to have to do some looking into this. They're like the state known for the most voter fraud. Have you heard that? Like I listen to you and I listen to a lot of Red Pill podcasts, and that was one thing that I heard 3 different people say is that Minnesota's known for voter fraud. I had no idea. I just thought I know Ilhan Omar's there, right? So she's part of it.
Yeah, I don't know how she got nominated in Minnesota. Like that pairing doesn't make sense to me.
They needed a Mongolian, okay? Where's she from? Somalia. That's what it is. Somalian. They needed a Somalian in there to really come in and change a different perspective.
That was close.
And then and Maddie Spice has proof right here. That is why Minnesota was the only state that didn't vote for Reagan. Like Reagan did not win Minnesota because there's something going on with the way they count their votes. It's almost always wrong. Something goes wrong. And the way voting is in general, we need to send everybody an iPhone SE. They need to fingerprint, open their iPhones, and vote. That's the only way it can be done to make sure you're voting and no one else is voting. And for you old people who have very little thumbprint left, we'll put some of that wax that we have 24-hour fitness. You put a little wax on there. Boom. Fingerprint looks great.
Well, if we can do the census online from home, why can't we vote from home? I don't get it.
Well, I think there's a lot of room for error on that because if you live imagine a family where let's say I'm the head of household. I'm 50 and my wife and I vote the same every time, but I have my son and my daughter. They're both 20 and they're going to vote completely differently than me. But I'm the head of household. I just vote all 4 people. Boom, boom, boom. All red. Boom. Or other way. All blue. Boom, boom, boom. Like it's just too easy to fuck shit up. And I agree with what our good friends like Ben Shapiro say. It should be somewhat of a challenge to vote. You should put some effort into it because otherwise it is, hey, we're going to give you free shit. Oh, I'll sign right here. And that's how elections would work forever. Like whoever walks up to me first and offers me something for free, I could totally be bought. If Beto O'Rourke here in Texas showed up at my door and goes, look, Ryan, I'll give you $25,000 to vote for me and not Ted Cruz, I would say yes. I would say. Well,
you got to say, are you going to take it all back in taxes?
I would.
If not, then yes.
I'd move. I'd go red state again. I'd be like, thank you, Beto. I'm out of here. That's how
Utah.
That's how I would manipulate the system. I'd be like, all right, thanks, Beto. I'm gone, my friend. Wait, we gotta turn Texas blue. Sorry, Beto. I am moving on. I'm a Rolling Stone gathers no moss, my friends.
I'm hanging around for that mess.
So you listened to the Dan Bongino interview, and I'm not a big Dan Bongino fan. I like some of his YouTube or Facebook clips, just kind of, a minute or two here of Dan Bongino. But he released his 90-minute, did he call it? Yeah, his election special. And I watched the entire thing on YouTube, even though he kept telling me go to rumble.com/Dan Bongino, which it is on there. And I downloaded the Rumble app. So pretty soon, rumble.com/Vleeties will be a thing.
Yes.
But I thought it was a great talk. It was a great first up that he had on his show was from the Trafalgar Group, which is a fun name to say. Oh my god, Trafalgar.
Sounds like a vacation scheduling.
Yeah, it's almost like Trivago. Like Trafalgar's like the competitor of Trivago. Where they're like, when you accidentally use one or the other, you're like, your friend tells you to go to Trivago, and now you're using Trafalgar. But the Trafalgar Group is Robert Cahaly. Yeah, so Robert Cahaly's his group had correctly predicted Donald Trump winning in the election in 2016 when he beat Hillary. And he brought up some really good points that have been wrong with pollsters over the past 20 years. Where I didn't know this because it's never happened to me. Bill Burr said this great when Conan asked him, well, how could the polls be so wrong? And Bill Burr goes, nobody's ever asked me. Like, has anyone ever asked you? Yeah. Like, I think people are sitting around in their boardrooms going, you think what I'm thinking? All right. Let's just say it's 53-47. Sounds good. And I didn't realize if you answer the phone and it's a pollster, you're going to be ready for a 20 to 30 minute conversation. Is that for real? Have you ever been contacted by a pollster?
No, I feel like I would have that conversation, but you're only going to get the people that are diehard. So it's going to be skewed no matter what. I mean, anybody who's going to answer you is going to be skewed one way or the other.
And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand is like, whenever I see the polls and they always lean heavy Democrat, I think they're calling Democrats. And I also think they're calling people that, like, if you called my brother, he's not going to, even though he's probably going to vote for, not Trump, what's the other guy? Joe Biden.
Kamala, because she's going to end up being president.
George Lopez. Even though you're going to vote for, even though he's probably going to vote for Joe Biden, he would not want to talk to you for 27 minutes about the election and what issues are the most important. And he's not going to care about that. He has no interest. So he's going to just be a quick, like, hey, do you have time to talk about the election? No. No, thank you. Lose this number, please. Like, and I think I think that happens a lot. Like, even if you called me, if I was in the middle of something, you're like, do you have a half hour to talk about the presidential election? I would say yes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That would I would, you can call me during then, and we'll record the pollster.
That would be great.
Yeah, please call me during these shows because
I got a pollster calling me right now.
See, there you go. Give it an answer and just tell them, look, the issues that are most important to me are making sure we get that orange man.
Catch the buzz, feel the sting.
Thank you, Chugga. Thank you for hosting, my friend.
Chugga.
And then so the Cahaly says that Trump is making a strong showing in states he needs to win. Trump brings out people who don't ordinarily vote, and I think that is because he isn't just a typical politician. Even though, if I can be honest, he does seem a lot more like a conservative to me now. Like in
catch the buzz, feel the sting.
Thank you, Trash Gamer. It seems like in 2016 he was like this renegade. Like even the Republicans didn't like him. Like nobody liked this guy. And here we are 4 years later where he's been battling with the left, where he's been battling with Pelosi for 4 years, and now he comes off as like the most conservative president of our lifetimes almost. Although he is the first president to ever openly support gay marriage. The first president from the start of his term, okay? Because Barack didn't come around until halfway through his second term. He's like, you know what? They're people too.
It's time.
Let's do it. Let's flip it. So I agree with that. I think a lot of people who don't necessarily want to participate in politics all the time, they now have somebody to vote for. They're like, no, I like this guy. I want this guy who even, when the tax return thing, everyone thought that was going to be the end of Trump. I think it almost worked in his favor. I think a lot of people were like, good for you, bro. How did you?
Yeah, fuck you. Why? You can't look at my taxes.
Yeah, dude, exactly. Well, and then my favorite part is, Biden's like, I've released all my tax returns. It's like, no, you haven't. How have you made all this money? How do you, your public office position pays 6 figures a year. How do you have $40 million or whatever it is? How did you, from your books? That I can't tell you the name of one of them. Same with Barack Obama. When he started office, his net worth was like 800,000. Then he left, it was like 40 million. And I understand there was a Netflix deal and there's other things that he did that, oh, cool, I'm going to make some money after the White House, bro. And then
I get Barack, though. He's at least interesting. Who gives a shit about anything Joe Biden would write? I wouldn't want to read a Joe Biden book.
Would you read a Barack Obama book?
2 years ago, maybe.
I probably wouldn't read, and I think I've said this before, I probably wouldn't read The Audacity of Hope because there's a lot of speculation that he didn't even write it. I would probably read his first book. The first book I believe he actually wrote, and I don't think he was present when he wrote it. I forget what it was called. Something about, I think it's about dreams, the dreams of my father, or something like that. I'd probably read that book. I never finished White Fragility, and I never will.
Trash gamer. Joe Biden's book be like the thing.
Yeah, that would be great.
And then you need a come on, man.
That would be great for his book. Come on, man. Yeah, the thing. That would be great. If I was Joe Biden, my book would be like, and I love kids jumping on my lap. That would be my book. So, and this was something that I brought up a few times to everybody, is with the polls, everyone's telling me that Joe Biden is winning. But you look at the videos they show. Barack Obama did like a Facebook Live and 70 people were watching for like an hour. And you think
that's it?
Yeah, and I'm like, that's it? This guy was the president. Like, why was nobody watching this? And then you look at you look at all the rallies. There's just nobody there. And I'm like, what? And I've even said it before. Oh, come on, I'd go. I'm like that guy who, like, when someone has a birthday party and nobody shows up, I feel like really bad. So when I'm looking at a Biden rally and there's empty chairs, I'm like, oh, come on. Let's go to the Biden. Let's just go. Let's hear him out. I don't want him to have empty chairs there. Like,
so the only legitimate thing I could think of is it's just, in general, Republicans support opening up. They don't love masks. They're not worried about getting together, and Democrats think they're all going to die and we need to stay closed down and nobody's going to go to a rally in person.
And that's,
so I think there's some of that for sure, but it's still, Trump gets thousands of people to come out during COVID and Biden gets 8.
Well, and then the NBA ratings was the other huge indicator. Was like when you look at the NBA ratings, you look at the NFL ratings, you look at all of the, hey, make sure you vote. And like, you know what they were saying. Make sure you vote for Joe Biden is what they were saying. I was even watching a commercial here in Texas. It was paid for by the DCC. And it was so funny because it was like, make plans and vote early. And it's these two Indian people. And they're giving, it's a good commercial. But so if you hear it verbally, fine commercial. But if you look on the screen, it says vote early for Democrats, like in big blue letters. Like, so if you just hear the commercial, it's like, oh no, it's a good idea. But no, it's paid for by the DCC. So it even says like for Democrats, like all of them. Don't look at anyone's policies. Just vote all one way. And
now I voted yesterday, or I dropped off my ballot yesterday.
Your ballot dropper offer, huh?
Yeah, we have drop boxes here, which I guess I was reading an article today that 60% of all ballots are being turned in that way right now. People are like, fuck the mail.
Yeah,
nobody trusts it out here.
I don't even trust the drop boxes, but go ahead.
Well, dude, in Utah, I can check where my ballot is. So as soon as it gets collected and processed, I can get an update.
And I think that's how.
And I'm checking.
Yeah, I think that's how California did it as well. And when you were looking at your ballot, did you mix it up at all? Was it straight red? Was it a little blue? What happened?
It was straight red. So I spent at least an hour filling it out. So surprisingly, dude, we had maybe 10 people on our ballot for president.
Really?
It was crazy. And there was a lady with no vice president candidate with her.
Good for her.
I don't understand it. But I went through and all of the House and the Congress, I went Republican. Like I read Utah has a website just where you can go to each person and get a quick summary of what they're about and their track record.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I really got into was all the judges. There was like maybe 15 judges that you could vote to either keep them or get rid of them. There was like 4 or 5. I was like, F this guy, because they have an actual review. and like they get a scorecard on like their competency, but then they have a section about people that like actual people that were in their court. And some people were like, dude, this guy was a total asshole. Like, he didn't even listen to me. He didn't do this and this. I was like, that guy's gone. They're like,
that guy's gone. Get him out of here.
His law knowledge is great. He's like this young guy, but he's real short with people and he's got a temper. I'm like, he doesn't need to be a judge.
Who was that? Was Sam Tittle on your ballot? Sam Tittle?
I think
Sam
so.
with two
I took
M's.
A picture of it.
Yeah, Sam with two M's. Because there was a lawn sign the other day that was like, write in Sam Tittle, which is always an interesting lawn sign to like write in somebody. It's like, are you sure? So I was wondering, because like there are people that pop up as like presidential nominees that, like, we always talk about there's obviously the two primary parties, and then there's two secondary parties in my head. You know, I was thinking of the Green Party and the Libertarians.
See, I had, and they had little notes next to them. What party?
Mm-hmm.
We had Constitution Party, Democrat, the Green Party, Independent America Party, Libertarian, Republican, Unified Utah Party. I guess we have our own
You
party.
have your own president? How are you going to do that?
And UNA, which is unaffiliated. So, I mean, there's some people on here, they're just disqualified by name alone. Like, our president is never going to be Howie Hankins.
No, it's not. Yeah,
That's not going to happen.
Well, and that's why when I was seeing, you know, write in Sam Tittle on your ballot, and I had already voted, so they put that lawn sign out a little too late. And I was just like, who is this person? And you go to her website, and she's kind of on, I like her website because she's kind of on board with like me and you. Open carry your constitutional rights. Stand on your Second Amendment first, because without it, we have nothing.
Yeah.
And then she has 10% FI tax. I think it's flat tax, but if it's good enough for God, it's good enough for that.
Yeah.
It's good enough for that fat pig called
We're just gonna
government.
start tithing.
Yeah, and then 100% pro-life. Where would we be without it? Is her quote. And then she even has a Bible verse, Psalm 139:13. God knew you before you were knit in your mother's womb.
Why didn't we vote for this?
I don't know. Sam Tittle. She's a female. We should have voted. We need a female president, all right? Women's touch. That's all we really need. In the
Dude, when you get a woman anti-abortion, they're all in.
China's gonna eat our lunch, damn it. That's from Trash Gamer. And then
Trash.
Yeah. He put Macho Man, but I think this is a Vince impression. The president of Utah, damn it. Get him on the line. Gotta talk to the president of Utah. I'm the president of the United States. Dig it. So
But no, Trash Gamer, there's the other one that I sent in the Discord. We are voting to end slavery in Utah.
you haven't ended it yet.
You heard that correctly. Yes. So we're voting to change the wording that I guess has been in our state constitution since before it was a state, that just copied from the original constitution. And long time ago, I guess when slavery ended, they changed the wording and took it out in general, but it still says in there that slavery and or indentured servitude can be used as a punishment for a crime.
Woo!
And they're like, yeah, we're voting to update this language because this shouldn't be in our constitution at all.
Can't believe that's on a ballot. Isn't that just something that isn't that just implied and they change it? Hey, can we get an executive order from the president of Utah to make sure that doesn't stay
Where
in
was
there?
Mitt been?
Oh my goodness, that's nuts that's still in there. But I like that it's like for punishment. Yeah, you know, if you do something wrong, we can bring this back just for you. So there's plenty more to get to. We are going to run out of time in a couple minutes here. So I'll do some bullet points real quick on this one. We lost 50 Cent. 50 Cent tweeted "fuck Trump" after
What?
yeah,
Because all the heat he got, or what?
he got a lot of heat, and then of course Chelsea lately came on TV and was like, you cannot forget that you're a black person and you need to not vote for Donald Trump. You can't be selfish because of your, and that's the thing is he was saying, I don't want to be 20 cents. 62% is a very, very bad idea. I don't like it. And then hashtag stars get the app. I don't even know what that means. But yeah, Chelsea was very upset with him, and she even says like that he needs to publicly denounce Donald Trump because all of his followers are now voting for Trump, and she thinks people are so stupid. Like, I can be a fan of Chelsea Handler and not give a shit about her political opinions. I don't.
I was gonna say that. Who is such a big 50 Cent fan that they're like, oh no, I gotta vote for Trump now. Oh my god.
Maybe in like 2003, maybe it could have been like a huge deal, but yeah. So 50 Cent says another because this was his tweet. He responded to Chelsea Handler. Another spin. Fuck Donald Trump. I never liked him. He wrote, for all I knew, he had me set up and my friend Angel Fernandez killed, but that's history. LOL. So your friend died. LOL. What? I don't know what's going on with 50, but whether 50 Cent intended his comments as a joke has not been confirmed. In fairness, his mention of Angel Fernandez was a sarcastic reference to Scarface. Oh, that's true. I forgot about that until he said that. So maybe he is just joking and he's going to vote for Donald Trump, but who knows? He has every right.
Oh, he's going to vote Trump. He just won't say it.
He has every right to vote for who he wants to vote for, and if he's worried about his finances, vote that way. I don't understand what the benefit of him voting for as a rich person or as a black person. What will happen to him if he votes for Donald Trump's already the president? Like, I don't know why voting against him would be a huge concern. And I also loved the clip of Jimmy Fallon trying to entertain Chelsea Handler, because Jimmy, I'm gonna look at you, man. I know you're voting for Donald Trump. I know you are. You don't need to be ashamed of it. I know that you're part of his Hollywood elite, so you need to on the surface be a Biden person, but I know you're a Trumper. I know it. I watched you play with Trump's hair. You've been part of the NBC family for years. You've known Donald Trump for years, and I know you're on his side. So, and then, so Trash Gamer is saying he's just saying that so he can fuck Chelsea again, because she did offer her body to him for his vote, which is kind of a unique.
That's illegal.
That is illegal in 100 ways. So, regardless of what 50 Cent intended, some reacted to Chelsea Handler's comments with disgust. Exactly. White liberals will do anything to keep blacks on the Democrats' plantation, was tweeted by Democratic Georgia Rep Vernon Jones.
Oh.
It's true. It's really, here's another white person trying to tell 50 Cent as a black person, here's what you need to do. Not giving him a choice, telling him what he needs to do, which is unbelievably racist and condescending.
Well, that's where I like the guy from the Trafalgar group was predicting that Trump could win upwards of 15% to 20% of the black vote, which has never been done by a Republican before.
I think there's a lot of the younger black people that are like, no, don't tell me what to do. And they're working hard. They want to be independent and they want to make money. You look at Donald Trump as somebody who's done these things, and you look at Joe Biden who wants to raise your taxes, and you're like, wait, I don't want that part. I don't want the government to take away more of my money, which is exactly what's going to happen. I make like an extra $80 a week because of Donald Trump. And like a lot of people don't notice that, I guess, or don't care. Like, if I had to give like if you asked me a year ago, because I was voting for Trump anyway before I got really into politics, and they were like, why are you voting for Trump? He lowered my taxes and got rid of ISIS. Were like my two biggest reasons why. Because ISIS was like a real thing when Barack was in office, and France gets bombed, and Barack's like, we will stand by our French friends, and if they need any help, you know where to find us. It's like, dude, let's go get ISIS. Why are we waiting? Like, what's the big holdup here? So, 50 Cent can vote how he wants to vote. Let's see. I got another one. I think this is Vernon Jones as well. It's hilarious to see Democrats like Handler freaking out about black men and other minorities thinking for themselves. Oh, that's Rachel Campos Duffy. The brave ones are speaking up, but get ready for polling category. But get ready for the polling category. Everyone will be talking about on election night. The silent minority vote. But that's the other thing is identity politics. You need to vote this way because of your this race. And Trash Gamer in the chat. When Trump wins, I'm clowning everyone at my school. Here's the problem. When Trump wins, we know there will be protests and we know there will be riots.
It'll be absolute fucking chaos for a little while.
If Biden wins, the world will be, I feel like everyone will be calm. People will be upset, sure. I think people will have the right to be upset, but nobody's going to go out into the street and break anything. Nobody's going to throw a brick through a QMon, through a child development center. Nobody's doing that. It's just astonishing to me how one side who... Let's do it! Thank you, Nathan. Nathan just woke up, it looks like. He's hosting us. I feel bad, Nathan. Oh, you subscribed, Nathan. That's even better than a host. I appreciate you, Nathan. Tonight's been a hoot and a holler, or today's been a hoot and a holler. I got to go pick up my son in a little bit here, and we got a dinner party, Nathan. And I hope you can make
Come
it.
on, catch the buzz, feel the sting.
Thank you, Broken Freaking Neck. But yeah, to me, that was just astonishing. We lost 50 Cent. Not a huge deal. However, I don't really think we lost him. I think what he did was already enough to sway some votes. Him saying, fuck that tax plan. I'm not doing that. I'm out of here. I just don't want to get rid of the tax laws. I don't want to get rid of the tax plan. Other big takeaways from...
Come on, catch the buzz, feel the sting.
Thank you, Maddie Spice, for the host. And one other thing, Rudy Giuliani believes that Joe Biden is going away, right? I mean, we listened to the Bongino special. What do you think? Like, I love all this information coming out, but what annoys me as somebody who has to go on Facebook and Twitter and read all of my liberal friends who are like, it's Russian disinformation. It's nothing. Don't we need to see an arrest happen for this to matter? He says that CD Lamb put up 0. Fuck him.
Yeah, I had him in my other league.
Well, I'll go through.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no way Joe Biden will not be arrested at all for any of this.
Right.
The hard part is going to be convincing everybody that he's the big guy. The big guy comment is the only thing that ties him to any type of money.
Sure.
And
they call him Pops.
Yeah, or the chairman. Hunter called him the chairman also.
I'm the chairman.
So that's going to be the hard part. But like Bongino says it the best is like, whether it's true or not true, when I was in the Secret Service and a story like this came out, I would be under investigation immediately. And I would
If
be
you're looking
fired.
for a fella to fight him, I'll fight him.
Nathan, we were saying just
I'll fight
that
him.
sounder has made me like a big Sheamus fan. Like I love Sheamus like way more now than I ever did. It's my favorite thing in the world to hear Sheamus say, "I'll fight him."
I'll fight him.
But no, you're not wrong. Yeah, if you had any scandal like this, you would 100% be under investigation.
Yeah, and that's who's running for president. Like, you could at least put the story out there. They did it to Trump. This is the same exact story as Trump, except for they were saying, no, he went there. He had money. He dealt with all of it. And now they're like, oh, there's no way this is true. Can't be true. It's Russian misinformation.
Russian disinformation.
And they keep pushing that it can't be confirmed. They have a receipt that Hunter Biden signed. It's his laptop.
It's his laptop. He dropped
It's
it off.
pictures of him on the laptop.
And apparently,
And
there's a video of him getting a foot job on the laptop.
Oh yeah, I heard there's a bunch of stuff in there that we don't even know about. That's just horrible. But all they have is they have that other guy that's on the text. He's like, yeah, I mean the big guy is Joe Biden. He's like the other guy in this whole scheme, and he's like, I don't care if I go to jail, like, and I'm a Democrat, but this is bullshit, basically.
Tony Bobulinski came out and pretty much laid it all out there. Like, I was a part of this whole thing. Joe Biden knew what we were doing, knew what was going on. Hunter was involved solely because of his name. And, I mean, he really did, threw him under the bus, I guess, if you want to say that. I mean, but it's really just telling the truth. And, of course, he's probably going to get lit up for it, but let me see. Let me just play a little bit. I think I have a little bit of the audio. But, yeah, Tony Bobulinski told reporters Thursday evening in Nashville, Tennessee, that he had personally met with former Vice President Joe Biden for an hour to discuss the Biden's family business plans with China. And he went in and he said, on May 2nd, 2017, the night before Joe Biden was to appear at the Milken Conference, I was introduced to Joe Biden and his brother Jim Biden and Hunter Biden. For approximately an hour-long meeting with Joe that night, we discussed the Biden history, the Biden family business plans with China, with which he was plainly familiar, at least at a high level. So he knew what was going on. There was nothing. So we have a key witness who was part of this entire thing. It seems like it's coming down, and I think it's at least Trash Gamer says. Trash Gamer says there's a pic of Hunter measuring his dick. Like, what? This is a weird laptop. It's got work stuff on it. It's got.
When you're smoking crack, I mean, I don't know.
Apparently,
I was telling people, like, if they did not have the receipt that they have proven Hunter Biden signed, I would not believe this shit is true. Who is dumb enough to drop off a laptop that one has allegedly there's child porn on it, There's pictures of me smoking crack. There's emails of my international money laundering scheme. There's text messages implicating my dad who's running for president. Like, who's this big of a dumbass? But no, they have a receipt that he signed and said, no, this is my laptop.
And that also makes it frustrating is we have the receipt, and for some reason, like, and I'm even going to bring it up here so for anyone who's listening who doesn't normally listen, I mean, there is a receipt. It exists. Hunter Biden dropped a laptop off at the Mac shop at 21A Trolley Square in Wilmington, Delaware, 19806. Bill to Hunter Biden. Here's the signature. Not bad. I mean, $85 to get to get it fixed. A hardware level 1 repair. I mean, that's not a bad deal to get your iMac fixed. So why not go pick it up after you drop it off? So this exists, and that's what I don't get is, and you brought this up to me that your friend doesn't even know who Hunter Biden is.
Yeah, yeah. I just randomly, because I listened to the Bongino episode, and on Monday, like I usually talk to him I bullshit about other stuff. We'll talk politics every now and then.
Yeah,
he's a really moderate liberal. Like he's from Northern California, but he's just kind of like he doesn't really pay attention. And I'm like, yeah, have you followed all the Hunter Biden stuff? And he was like, is that like Joe Biden's son? I'm like, holy shit. Like,
is that like Joe Biden's son, or who's that? Is it like a sidekick? No, that's Joe Biden's son. And yeah, he's in a now I did hear the Bongino show, and yeah, what I liked that they did say was like, what's really unfortunate here is it's Hunter Biden was kind of forced into this by his dad. And
yeah.
And that's what's really sad. You do have a guy who's smoking crack, who's clearly not in a good headspace to be dealing with China and Ukraine. And Joe kind of sends his son or puts his son in that position. Now, you can say, what? He was doing his son a favor, giving him all this money. But also, he could have just gave his son the money anyway. I mean, what the hell? Why does he have to pretend that he's working for it? He doesn't know anything about energy.
Yeah, when your son has a horrible crack problem, you probably shouldn't just funnel money to his way.
That's probably not the way to do it. Cheer 45 from Nathan Weller. He says, Hunter Biden sounds kind of sus right now. Unbelievably sus is this Hunter Biden and the laptop scandal. And it's not going away. I just want it to be widespread mass media news. But we're not going to get that from MSNBC until we start just putting pictures up, until we finally say, no, look, here's him with a hooker. I have a photo right here. Like, that's what we're going to have to start doing in order to get people's attention. Because, yeah, it's shocking when you turn on CNN. I mean, we can go to CNN right now. There's no way.
Do not go on GTV. Oh, my gosh.
Gold Dust TV?
No, this is the website that's leaking all the Biden stuff.
Oh, really? And do they got some graphic stuff on there?
Yeah, open it, but don't screen share it.
I'm not going to even go to it. Not yet, at
Dude,
least.
you have to.
All right,
just open it.
I'll go to GTV.
Right now. You do it right now.
But, like, even when you go to, we'll just go to their website real quick. Not GTV's. We'll go to CNN's. Like, it really,
GTV.org.
of course, who's on the front? We got Trump and Melania. That's good news. This absolutely bonkers threat Donald Trump made this week. Okay. All right. Melania Trump focuses on COVID and slams Democrats for politicizing pandemic in campaign speech. All right. So far, not too good for the Trump family. Early voters are younger, more racially diverse, and more likely to be Democrats than they were ahead of 2016 election in many of the key states. Texas early voters have been mainly Republican, which was shocking to a lot of people. It was like, wait, what? So we did this early voting thing to avoid this. Frustration.
See, I'm surprised because I saw a headline today that like, oh, could Texas turn blue? The early voting is leaning that way.
I saw.
I'm tired of this shit.
I saw a script. I trust everything from Daily Wire. They have never they've never done me wrong. And they showed a graph that was like, let me see if I can even bring it up, but it was like early voting results for Texas, because I think it was like 65%. Let me see. Have Texas Tribune. We'll trust them. Texas massive early voting members have persisted leading predictions overall turnout in unseen years. Yeah, we actually have more voters than ever, is what the other people were saying. But it doesn't tell me who's voting for Republicans and who's voting for Dems. I wish we could have seen that turnout when Donald Trump. But it does look like more people are actually voting, which in Texas leads for Trump, which people don't realize, because a lot of people live in these rural cities like Waxahachie who don't ever really vote. Do they have results though on this website? Early voting turnout data. Here we go. earlyvoting.texaselection.com. Select election November 3rd. General. These are fun going to like websites like this. Let's go here.
GTV is savage. Oh my.
I voted in Denton County. Denton County's probably going to lean more liberal, but let's just take a look at it. I wish I could just see polling place.
So yeah, that is actual early results from Texas?
I mean, it looks like it. I mean, polling place by county. I just want to go to Denton County. Show me Denton County. Select one option. Only select one option. You know what? Never mind. Fuck it. We're winning. And I'll just take my word for it. Let me go to GTV. It's just gtv.com or g.tv?
It's gtv.org. Just
Oh,
make sure you're not on
.org.
screen share.
I'm not on screen. Nobody can see this. Maybe we can blur it out to show some things. Holy shit. This is real?
Yeah.
How do we confirm it?
Uh,
Whoa.
Dude, it's the whole website is just
No. Where did they get this? Is bad.
This is like it's what like Hunter's gonna have his own Pornhub.
Yes, dude, there's
section.
sex tapes everywhere of Hunter Biden. This is not good.
Oh boy.
Why
is it not
why
playing?
does nobody? Oh no, and they're all Chinese. This is not good. Why does not everybody know about this?
Truth don't load.
Wait, no, that's not good. Hunter Biden's hard drive. Is this his daughter in the photo? Is he getting... This isn't true. No, I don't want to watch a video. Get that away. Wait, but is she going to say stuff?
Pedophile, because there has been a lot of inspections. Like, if you guys heard about the body language on YouTube, she analyzed people by looking.
What is this, Zach? What am I
their,
watching?
how
What did
they
I get
talk
sucked
and
into?
how they act, and it is shown like with the proof that he is
With
you
the
know,
proof.
having strange, like really weird, like actions around those kids, you know, and now. From Luda Media,
I'm afraid to, like,
you
put
guys
this on the
have
screen.
Heard about it on YouTube.
It might cut it to a
Senator,
screenshot.
good vice president, the whole time, and then all of
Oh, this is like a 90-minute
started to
show.
really
People are doing entire Vleeties episodes just talking about photos of Hunter Biden. Oh my gosh, this is bad. Ultimate Battle 6, Hunter Biden's video porn. And then you affirm that you are at least 18 years of age. Oh, this is just telling me. Yes, I am 18 years of age.
And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Thank you, Nathan Weller. So we are not publishing these photos and videos to spread pornography. That's why they're blurring out all this stuff. We get it. So he's jamming his hog into somebody's mouth there. We see that. I can mute the video. I'm just gonna describe this to everybody who's listening because this is shocking and I didn't plan on this. I didn't know this existed. So we're not going to talk about Kanye West right now because that was my next my go home topic. I do want to bring up my fantasy football. Thank you, Nathan Weller. So I'm going to go through some of these images and I'll describe them. And then, yeah, I like that the person who put up this video on GTV, they even say, in fact, making this video made me feel very sick because it does. I mean, these are horrific. Oh my gosh, he's sitting Indian style, holding his self, and he's FaceTiming a young woman. I don't know how old she is because these are minors. These are minors. How do we know? How do we confirm? Do we need driver's licenses? This video is completely blurred out. He's having sex with something.
Something.
Somebody.
Don't know what.
Somebody. Yeah, there's the foot job video. Thank you, Trash Gamer. Thank you for that. Thanks, Trash Gamer. You're my buddy. When and where?
Explain to them that every single video on this website is Hunter Biden.
Yeah. I mean, he's trending, definitely. He's on their trending page. That's for sure. He's definitely... Who took these pictures? Exactly. And then who keeps these files? Yeah, why would he store these? Here he is having sexual relations with two unnamed girls. That girl looks very young. That girl looks really young.
So if it was,
Trump.
I agree with that. Like, oh, somebody dropped a single Hunter Biden video that was bad. It's like, okay, maybe it's like the classic movie. Like he was in Russia and Russia sent a hot girl and they had a camera in the room. But this is an archive. Like nobody was at all. Some of these are selfies. Like this came from him. This is from his laptop, from his phone. Like an idiot.
This came from his laptop. And why is he FaceTiming his daughter with an erection? Is this another story that people...
Well, the thing I've heard with the daughter was that they had a text from him where he said something about his ex was in court and told the judge that he walks around naked all the time and he FaceTimed her smoking crack and she was worried about the kids being around it.
This is not good, and everybody needs to know this. How?
That's your future... What do they call the kids of the president? The first kids?
I don't know what what do we call Donald Trump Jr. a baller? It's
fucking the man.
I want to read his book. I haven't read his book yet. I really was interested because it does talk.
I have it. You want me to send it to you?
Yes, please. It does talk about the attacks from the left, right? Like just how often they were being attacked.
Are you talking about Triggered?
Yes, Triggered. Yes.
Yeah, I got Triggered.
And then Nathan Weller says, "Is this the Hunter Biden network?" It might as well be. Good God. Before we go, I want to look at my fantasy football team because my paid league that I constantly talk about, the league I'm in with Jason, that $50 a team. We had what can only be described as a terrible fucking weekend, like unbelievably bad. I did not get one player to get into the double digits. Like, yeah, and
yowie.
That like never has happened to me. Who said that one? Nita Noella. He says just $9.99 a month, and you can get the Hunter Biden porn network. I can't believe that exists, dude. I'm like afraid that this. I mean, and here's the thing: it's Hunter Biden, not Joe Biden, but it's still like, yowie wowie. Like, there's got to be something more that you can do there to help your kid out, you fucking guy. So here we go. My fantasy football woes this weekend. I mean, I was running through the 6 with all of these woes.
Oh my gosh.
You should have seen
what
it.
Happened?
40.42 points, and I lost to Jonathan Wickham by a lot. He scored 133. And you
were projected for 117.
This could not have been more wrong by anybody in their lives. So here's the first problem. I'll scroll slowly for everybody at home. Cameron Newton played like shit. And I know you're a Patriots fan, but I have to be honest. I think the Patriots might be low-key the most frustrating, disappointing team of this season. Like, I thought, hey, they got Cam Newton. They're taking out elderly Tom Brady and replacing him with a young stud in Cam Newton. This is going to be great. And Cam Newton threw 3 interceptions, and then Bill was like, you know what, we're good. Go ahead and sit down. And so he gave me 2.82, which is frustrating because I want to drop him. I almost dropped him. But he did have a 20-point game against Denver, even though he didn't do anything until the final 3 minutes. He missed this game because of COVID. And then against the Raiders, he didn't play very well. So he had these 2 fire games at the beginning. So Yahoo's like, don't drop him. Don't drop him right now. Sonic Gino says, are you going to try and see Rosemary and Johnny Bravo wedding tonight? That will be officiated by the sinister minister, Father James Mitchell. No. Not going to watch Impact. I didn't watch Bound for Glory, Sonic Gino. Maybe we will one day, but it's not happening today. So Odell.
Dodgers are in the World Series, man.
World Series, damn it. I got to leave in 10 minutes to go get Ralph.
gonna watch him blow it again.
Today, it's going to be fine. Trust me. Odell Beckham Jr. got hurt at the very beginning of the game, and of course, he tore his ACL, so he's done. Unbelievably frustrating. So I was even so on Friday night, I was sitting there looking at my roster. So Greg Taylor, our other good friend, he said he wants a better receiver, and I was like, I would love to get rid of Odell Beckham. So I was going through his roster. The only person he was willing to trade was Giovanni Bernard. I'm like, I don't want Giovanni Bernard for Odell Beckham. Now, I really wish I would have taken that trade. So I lost Odell Beckham. Stephon Diggs even had a terrible game. 6 catches for 48 yards. He didn't do much. The Bills didn't do much against the Jets. Like the Jets look like a really good team for some reason. Devin Singletary, another player for Buffalo, he let me down. He's fallen short of projections a lot this year. I mean, look at this. 5, 5, 3. And before that, it was like 16, 14, 8. I can live with that. 7, I couldn't live with that. I just, they're going to constantly project him to get 11 or 10 because he does get the attempts. Look at all these attempts. He's their running back. We got to use him. He's only got 1 touchdown this year. So he really screwed me. Kenyon Drake didn't play well. He also got hurt. He's going to be out for a few weeks.
He's an ankle sprain, right?
Yeah. Hunter Henry, I don't know why I even try every week with you. 3 receptions for 23 yards. You let me down. Chase Claypool, he had 1 target. And
he was your rock star.
Dude, I was like so excited. I didn't even start him last week. So I was like, okay, Chase Claypool time. And they were in a game that needed a big player. And this was the game, and he blew it. And then Traquan Smith almost didn't get the start. He just got the start because, honestly, like Joe Mixon was out, so I couldn't play him. Myles Gaskin's on a bye. I couldn't play him. I should have played Evan Ingram. It was between Adrian Peterson and Traquan Smith, so I went with Traquan. And this team is I was on such a high. This team is 4-2. We're in a good spot. And now without Odell Beckham, Cam Newton has fallen off the cliff. Zach, we scored 40 points.
That's rough. God, what happened?
We didn't even get 50. I mean, we were
you didn't even reach like a third of what you were projected to reach.
It was so bad. How did this happen? I don't know what I'm going to do because, I even look at next week, and I already set the lineup for next week. I'm going to have to go, maybe there's a free agent I can get. But again, now my projections are so low because I'm missing some key players here. I'm going to go with Claypool again. I'm going to ride that train. I don't have Ola Beckham anymore, so it needs to be Claypool. He needs to step up. I got Stephon Diggs. I'm going to go with Bridgewater instead of Cam, just 1 week.
You're going to regret that.
See how it goes?
I just have a feeling right now. It's one of those where, like, he killed in the beginning of the year. He falls off the map. You're like, fuck this guy. I'm not starting him anymore.
There's rumors that
as you do that.
There's rumors he might get traded this week. So I'm, afraid of starting Cam Newton. Evan Ingram is getting the start. Traquan Smith, I guess, is going to get a start. I'm going with 2 tight ends this week because we are desperate. We are desperate, my friend. Yeah, Cam Newton. If Mixon plays, I'll put him in the lineup. But apparently he's day-to-day, and he might not make it. And even if he does make it, is he going to get me 14 points? He might not. Kenyon Drake's going to be out for a few weeks. Adrian Peterson, I only have him because I don't know why. I dropped somebody, and I was like, I guess I'll get him. But I'm playing Ty. I played Tyler Perry this week. He's got Mahomes, Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen. I'm going to get my ass kicked this week. I'm so ready to get my ass kicked by Ty this week. And I have no plans on winning anymore. We were 4-2 and in second place. I was like, all right, we got the league where we want him. And after 1 loss, I'm like, I lost 3.
I'm done. Fuck this.
I lost 3 or 4 starters. We are useless going forward. Very, very frustrated by that. And then I also got my ass kicked in the Hambino League. The Redskins had another. Look, F. I got an F rating for my performance because it was so terrible. Just going through real quick. This was another one.
Oh my God! What happened?
Look, I have a lot of the same guys. Cam Newton, Odell Beckham, and Hunter Henry and Traquan Smith. We already knew that wasn't going to work. I did have the Redskin the football team defense, and they put up 19 points, which was good. Elair put up 12.8. Traquan, not bad. But when you look at this right here, these top 5 guys really screwed me over. This is 7, 11, 12 points between my top 5 guys. That's never good. So another game of just like yowie. Your quarterback can't score 1 point. That's just not. That's not
I think in the gridiron he got me negative points.
Let's see. Let's go to the gridiron real quick. I think Dumb Things Again was my only bright spot this weekend. We got to win.
I was starting to get excited because I started off. I'm in a league where I'm winless on one team, but like in the gridiron and in my main league, I've been like I lost early. Like I have Devontae Adams and Michael Thomas. They're both out like the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So like I'm storming back now because I got like Adams got me 50 this week.
Here we go. Looking at Nathan Weller, I beat Nathan by a slim margin of 8 points. CeeDee Lamb with his big donut. Robert Woods putting up a 5-ski. So it worked out for me in this one because if you look at this team, I really don't have any other carryovers. I have Singletary. I mean, I got him in a few leagues, but Metcalf, Kelsey, even Kelsey though. What the hell is happening in football? Like Kansas City's defense gave me a nice 24. And
yeah, that was the other one. Mahomes fucked me because their defense scored, their special teams scored. I looked and they were up like 34-7, and Mahomes had like 3 points.
It was just a weird day.
I was like, what is happening?
It's a weird day in football because even my bench, I got 6 points on the bench. You only had 5. Like this didn't go well. And then per Matty Spice request, he wants to take a look at the old standings. So let's go look at the standings real quick and see where we're at. Because Dumb Things Again is hanging on to that 2 spot real hard. Not going to last much longer. Then we got Thix is hanging out at the 1 spot, huh? Look at you, Thix. Look at you. And then Tebow Time hanging in there with that tie. Living that. You're in 5th place. Remember you thought you were going to lose this entire league? You're in 5th place. Look at you.
Yeah, I just feel like it. But go look. Let's check this out.
Let's check out the Tebow Time.
No, fuck Tebow Time. Trump train.
Oh, I forgot. For some reason, I thought your name was Tebow Time. And your name's Trump Train. Makes way more sense.
Well, now he's leaving. Originally, Matty wanted to change the name because he hates Tebow so much.
But
now he's on a win streak. Look, I got an A- and I still lost.
Oh, see. Oh, you lost to the Ham Packers who have been struggling. That was their first win. So they were due, okay? And
I was projected to win by like 40 points.
Sometimes,
which is what upset me the most.
Sometimes it doesn't work out, my friend. You were projected and it just didn't work out. Top players, and that's what I always hate is like I don't hate it, but I just mean when a guy like James Robinson has 30 points, it makes me just rethink my entire life. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And then you had Devontae Adams had a big game, AJ Brown had a good game, Mahomes had a decent game, but fell very short of his projections. But yeah, it's just one of those games, my friend. The world works the way that it works. So I think we did it, Zach. I think we covered every topic that needed to be covered. We didn't talk about Kanye West and how anti-abortion he is, which I was like, good for him. Super anti-abortion. I was like, whoa, he's the most anti. He's just talking, and he was bringing up facts about how, when you look at what kills more black people in America, it's clearly abortion. It's killed the most black people ever. Yep. Planned Parenthood is strategically put in places, but we'll get to that on Thursday. We don't need to do the whole thing right now. So until the day that I'm dead, my name is Ryan Van Vliet. I want to thank everyone for coming in early. This was fun to be able to do this. Now we do have to watch the Dodgers. Prediction, Zach, do they close it out tonight?
I don't know. I haven't paid attention. I hope they blow it just for the story since we're Angels fans.
But I'm married to a Dodger fan, so I find myself rooting for the Dodgers a lot.
Then stop wearing those Angels hats because you're losing your Angels card.
I do have it. I have 2 Dodgers hats, and I used to call it my camouflage. I go to a Dodger game. I need some Dodger gear, but I bought a Dodger hat since moving to Texas, so that's like not even camouflage anymore. That's like Dodger fan shit. So it's like I don't even know what to describe that as. That's a Dodger thing, right? But
you got to get either a red Dodgers hat or a blue Angels hat, and then you'll be good.
That's pretty sick. I would like a red Dodger hat. They sell those everywhere. I'll wear them like Fred Durst. You got the Yankee cap. You got to get the solid red and flip it back like Fred Durst.
It's for the style. Have you seen if there's a Galaxy Angels hat, I'll fucking wear it.
But you couldn't find one. You had to go. You had to go New York. New York almost doesn't count though, because even though like I don't like the Yankees, I never have, and I probably never will. Like the New York logo doesn't necessarily mean the Yankees in a weird way. Like
It means Jay-Z.
It means Jay-Z, of course. He can make a Yankee cap more famous than a Yankee cane. I mean, that's how he said it. I'm not making fun of him. That's how he said it. So thank you so much for coming in, everybody, and hanging out. Zach, you're going live tonight during the game, though, right?
I will be live later, probably around the normal Vleeties time. So come follow me, bro.
Go
Play
to
some Among Us.
Among Us, twitch.tv/whatsgeezy. No apostrophe. Don't get it twisted. It's not there. They don't allow apostrophes in web addresses. So, yeah, play Among Us. And how much you say was on Twitch? Like $5? That's really not bad.
I will gift it to you if you want to play.
I wasn't saying for me. I was saying for the TWFS universe.
Well, it's free on the phone, but you got to watch ad between the games.
Oh, that's
and it's
stupid.
Not as fun.
That's annoying. All right, let me go get my.
You got to get in the Discord in the chat, bro. But we're rating Tyler Spida.
Oh, is Tyler on right now? Let's raid Tyler Spida. Everybody have a safe evening. We'll have some fun tonight with Among Us, with baseball, with Tyler Spida. I love when Tyler goes live because it's like, let's get high. Like that's all it really is.
Really high.
Like, let's do it. Let's go. So I'm a big fan of that. So everybody, thank you so much again for coming in and hanging out. And we will raid Tyler Spida very, 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 very shortly. Good night. Ooh, yeah. I'll play eventually, Nathan. I'll get it. I was talking to Nathan, not you.
It's a real rip snorter.
Riddle snooters.